Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, there's one thing I got to do, and that's just say thank you to a man I've never met but consider him a great friend, and that's Mr. Ben Vieser of Vieser Cattle Company. And the reason I want to thank Ben is he has given us a couple of shout outs, and we're a young YouTube channel and a younger farm. His Walsh Farms is only a couple of years old, and it's owned by my son John. And we'll explain that story in an upcoming video series of who we are. But the reason I want to thank Ben is he's given us a couple of shout outs to our channel, and we've grown leaps and bounds because of him and his subscribers. So if you're joined us because of Ben, I thank you for that, and I hope you like what you see in the future. So again, Ben, just want to say thank you, but also to let Ben know and all the other farmers and ranchers from up north, just let them know that we're praying for them. There's a lot that we all need to be thankful for, and there's sometimes we complain about things when there's so many others that have far worse problems than we do. For example, in the South, in our crops, we have to fight the rain and the mud. But I've learned from watching all these other YouTube channels that the farmers and ranchers up north, they also fight rain and mud just like we do. But you also have the snow and the ice, and that makes it extra tough. So for you all, I just pray constantly for you all and ask the Lord to continue blessing you as you try to get your crops in and taking care of your animals. And as you'll see here, I'm standing in a field of cotton that we hope to start picking next week. It's in the mid-60s here, and it's actually short sleeve weather. So we're doing pretty good. But again, we just pray for those up north. Since we're not picking today, we are doing a little bit of other farm work, and we're picking up pecans that belong to Jim Waters of Waters Farms, and we'll talk more about him in just a few moments and the equipment that he's using to pick up pecans. Hey, we've moved from the cotton field to a pecan orchard, and that's what we're going to talk about today is pecan harvesting. These trees belong to Jim Waters of Waters Farms, who is my wife's cousin, and he's John's mentor. He's the one that got John into farming. But we're going to talk about the equipment used to harvest pecans. So this here is just one of several hundred trees that nuts are picked off of during the pecan harvest season. So I'm going to walk you through the equipment that is used to harvest pecans once they go from the tree to the ground. Here you're seeing the tree shaker, and this is what gets the pecans from the tree to the ground in order to be picked up. And this is a FMC tree shaker. Jim's probably had this 25 years or so at least. And the story about this is when John was little and Jim was a young man, John would always ride with Jim, and John could actually fall asleep sitting in the back of that cab regardless of how many trees was shaking. And we'll talk more about John and Jim's relationship in the Who We Are video series in a couple weeks. Once the pecans are on the ground, they take this little tractor with a blower on the back of it. It's PTO driven. You can just see it's a big fan, and the air from the fan blows out this chute here, and it blows the nuts away from one side of the tree to the other side, so it just makes it easier for the harvester to pick the nuts up off the ground. Here we use just a little New Holland tractor, and it works fine for this application. For those of you that watched our peanut picking videos, you saw we had the big green John Deeres, but this application we use a little New Holland, and it works fine on this Savage blower. And here you see the Savage harvester that is used to pick the pecans up from the ground. It's being pulled by a little Massey, and it does a fine job pulling this harvester. The harvester's folded up right now, but under the round part there is a drum with rubber fingers on it, and what it does is it sweeps up the pecans from the ground, and runs across the blower inside, much the same way a corn combine or soybean combine works, the same principle. Runs across the fan and blows the leaves and sticks and hulls and lightweight nuts. They blow out the back and go up a little auger here into a chute and blow into this little hopper. And then once this hopper gets full, it dumps into the grain wagon or the dump wagon that we use to haul them back to the cleaner. Once the nuts are picked up from the ground with the harvester, they're dumped into this dump trailer here, or this wagon. Most people may associate this with corn or soybeans or some other kind of grain, but we actually dump the nuts out of the harvester into this wagon here and then haul them to the cleaner. And this here is the cleaner. It's also a Savage. You can see the pecans are dumped from the wagon into this hopper right here, and the nuts go up this conveyor belt, run across the fan that blows the lightweight nuts and sticks and hulls into this dump trailer, and then becomes a waste product. The good nuts flow through and come out onto this conveyor table here, where people are on each side looking at the pecans to get any ones that are mashed or still have the hulls or sticks or whatever we don't want is thrown out, and the good nuts keep flowing down the container or the conveyor into 2 bags. It's only one right now, but there's usually 2 here, and the bags are filled up and then tied up once full and then put onto a pallet to where we load them on a trailer and haul them to the buyer. And that's all we have for today. If you're a new subscriber, we'd ask you to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you're a current subscriber and you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up button. Let us know you like what you saw, and leave some comments below. And again, just a special thanks to Ben Vieser of Vieser Cattle Company for the support he has shown me. And again, I just pray to God that all you farmers and ranchers from up north that are struggling with the weather this winter, we just lift you up to Lord Almighty and ask Him to continue blessing you. So with that, I'll just say take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time.